Hi, welcome to Jamaican Cooking 101. Today we are preparing braised cow foot and beans. Braising involves two methods of cooking. First, light frying is done to develop flavor and color, followed by stewing, which allows more flavor development and ideal tenderness. Let's gather our ingredients. Stay tuned to Jamaican Cooking 101. Welcome back. In our pre-preparation phase, we must wash the cow foot using vinegar or lime solution. It is important that we go through in details to make sure that all the hair has been singed from the cow foot. Alright, let's look at the ingredients. We have here some red wine, paprika, salt, meat seasoning, garlic powder, and some crushed pimento. In addition to that, we have our onion, garlic, ginger, scallion. We have a small hand grater and a knife. We also have soya sauce and mushroom sauce. Let's get our fresh ingredients together. Now we cut our onions and we make sure to cut it in small cubes so that the flavors can be infused into the flesh of the cow foot. Now you could grate your seasoning, and that will even ensure a faster infusion of your flavors. However, today I'm chopping my seasoning. I'm cutting the scallion diagonally so that more flavor can be released. Alright, maintain safety throughout. You can stabilize your cutting board by putting a napkin, a paper napkin underneath so that you do not have slippages. Alright, we're going to use the grater to grate the garlic. Now garlic will not only add flavor, but it will assist in tenderizing the cow foot. Likewise, the red wine will do the very same thing. Now I'm using some ginger, and ginger will add flavor and a little bit of peppery taste. It has a spicy taste to it. Alright. We're trying to get all our ingredients from the grater. We could blend these ingredients with a small amount of olive oil or vinegar, but I've chosen to chop my vegetables today. Alright, so here we have it. Our onion, garlic, scallion, and ginger. I'm going to use a pair of gloves to assist me in combining the ingredients. So first we are adding our red wine, and the red wine, as I said, will help to tenderize the cow foot. Next we're gonna mix all our ingredients, our dry ingredients, and add to the cow foot. You'd want a big enough mixing bowl to ensure that all pieces of the cow foot will be seasoned properly. Now we're gonna rub that in, making sure that all pieces of the cow foot get some of the seasoning. Once we're finished with that, we're gonna add our fresh seasoning. Alright, let's get it closer to us so that we can go right in and have all pieces well seasoned. Before we add our fresh chopped seasoning, we are gonna include our soya sauce and a little molasses. Now the soya sauce has enough salt, so we didn't have to add too much in the initial stage. Alright, this one is mushroom soya sauce, and we're adding just about a tablespoon, and we're using our regular Chinese soya sauce, and this we're adding another tablespoon. Oops. Alright, we're gonna get that all rubbed in so it's adding color and flavor. Here we have a teaspoon of molasses. Now molasses is a byproduct of sugar cane, so it's now going to add color as well as flavor. So we're going to have mixtures of spicy and sweet. Spicy, sweet and salty. Now when all those flavors are combined, we're going to end up with a beautiful dish. Okay, so let's get that all rubbed in properly. It is better to have a large bowl so that you can get right in and season properly. We have a little spill here, so we're cleaning up quickly and continuing to get those pieces of cow foot well seasoned. Once we're finished, we will allow it to marinate. Marinating can take place within 12 hours. If you're in a rush, you could leave it for a shorter time, but if you want the flavors to be well infused into the flesh of the cow foot, we want to marinate as long as possible. Alright, you can season and put it in a closed container and have it in your freezer for up to a week well seasoned. Alright, but we are going to be working with 12 hours today. So here we have it. We're already developing color and flavor. Now cow foot is considered to be an offal, and we'll learn a little bit more about that later on. So we're cleaning up our bowl and making sure that we wrap it carefully so that we close in all the smell. If you're going to place it in the refrigerator, you want to make sure it's covered properly. Alright, we're using our cling wrap today. Alright, we're going to roll out enough so that it covers the container properly. Now this cling wrap has its serrated edge at the bottom, so let's go for that. Right, now wrap it tightly so that its smell will not affect the other foods in the refrigerator. And we have to make sure that we clean up and prevent cross-contamination at all costs. Alright, so we're going to allow this to marinate for 12 hours. We're going to clean up our bottles and whatever utensils we would have used. Alright, so now we have our cow foot. It has been marinating for 12 hours and it's time for us to start cooking. Here we have our broad beans. They have been soaking for over 12 hours and this will assist in a faster cooking time. Alright, we have poured off the water that it was soaked in to remove that phytic acid. Here we have our pressure cooker. We're adding a little bit of oil and this is just to assist in the browning process. So we're going to go ahead and add the cow foot so that we get it well browned. Alright, we don't want that little bit of ingredients left in the bowl to go to waste. So we're going to add some water to it so that we get all of that into the pot. Alright, but we're not going to add it just yet. We're allowing for browning to take place. Right, we are going to turn up the flame and make sure that the skin on the cow foot start expanding. As it gets hot, it will expand. You'll see it get a little fatter. Once that is done, we know browning is taking place, color change, flavor development. Then we can add our liquid. You could add a stock or you could add plain water. Today we're going to be using plain water. Alright, you can notice the cow foot. In some areas you are seeing where it is leaving the bone. Alright, so browning has been taking place. Try to get this on a higher flame so that it doesn't cool down as quickly. Now we're going to add our water and our beans. Alright, so this is about 1.5 cup of dried broad beans. You could use the canned version, and so it means that you would not put them into the pressure cooker at this point. So I've added 1 cup of water, and I'm going to add an additional 2 cups. Now you want to make sure that the ingredient in the pressure cooker does not pass the required level. The liquid amount should cover the solid ingredients. We want to ensure safety at all costs. We could put the hot pepper in at this point, but we do not want it to burst under pressure, so we're just going to add a sprig of thyme. We're going to go ahead and close our pressure cooker. Make sure that the weight is on it and it is sealed. So the cow foot has been pressuring for just over an hour, and we have been preparing additional ingredients. You could put coconut cream, some spinners, and of course additional seasoning. Let's look what's in the pressure cooker at this time. So we have made sure to allow the pressure cooker to cool down by itself. We have removed the weight, and now we're opening. Alright, so this is the result after an hour and 5 minutes. If you don't have a pressure cooker, of course this could be done in a normal Dutch pot or saucepan. Now look at the cow foot we have here. It is separating from the bone, and that symbolizes softness. The beans, they're able to crush easily. And because they have been pressuring with the cow foot, the beans have now taken on the flavor of the cow foot. Alright, so we're gonna add flame to the pressure cooker again. We have already done a small amount of dough, which we'll be using for spinners. This dough includes water and salt along with flour. Alright, our traditional dumplings are made in the very same way, but our spinners are very small. They are rolled in the hand and placed in the pot. Now what we're gonna do is make a few of those, but we're gonna also include our additional herbs and spices. Coconut cream could be added to the mixture, but we're not gonna be adding any today. If you don't have the fresh coconut, you could also use the coconut powder. Now coconut powder just need reconstituting, meaning you add hot water to it. So it's an easier method than blending the fresh coconut. If you don't want to use coconut, you can just use a small amount of butter. Alright, of course you just open the package of the coconut powder and add it to a small amount of hot water, have it dissolved, and then you follow the other steps to whisk and place into your pot. We're gonna just quickly prep some vegetables, some spices here. Alright, so we have some more fresh garlic. Of course, we would have added garlic initially, but we want to upgrade the flavors. So we're trying to get these in at the last moment so that these flavors will be most significant. Right? So we're cutting our onion, cutting it as small as we can, and we're gonna add that shortly. The scallion, we are not going to be chopping the scallion. We're gonna use a technique that's popular in Jamaica, where you just twist it, bend it, soften it up a little so that the flavors can be released. Alright, for a hot pepper, we don't want to cut it up, but we're just making a slice into it so that the flavors can be released into the liquid. Alright, so we set that aside and focus on adding our spinners. Now, the mixture has come up to a small simmer, a light simmer, and we are making our spinners. Now, this is done easily by pinching off a small amount of the dough, rolling it into your hands and dropping it right into the pot. Make sure now to get it in a little bit of the liquid, and you can put in as many as you like. Spinners are a popular item for children. Children love to have the spinners. And for those persons who are staying away from the rice, you might want to put pieces of yam or potato in at this time. But we are doing it the traditional way. We want the spinners and we want the rice. Alright, so you make as many as you like. Today I'm using up all of the dough and I'm making a lot of spinners. Alright, now our spinners, we're trying to get them away from each other. Try not to crisscross them like I'm doing here. Make sure that you give each of them a little space, and you're not gonna stir the pot. If you stir the pot at this point, you're gonna have ill-shaped spinners. And we're down to the last one. There we go. So we're just gonna cover the pot and allow each spinner to get its shape, keep its shape, and cook through before we stir. Alright, so we give that some time, and here we are. Our spinners would have gotten some shape and started cooking. We have added our chopped vegetables, the herbs that we had chopped earlier on. We have added them. Now you're noticing that the pot is a little dry, so at this point you can add a cup of stock or plain water. I'm going to be using plain water because I want my flavors, the natural flavors, to come out. Alright, so I'm going in with 1 cup of water. Give it a little stir and allow it to simmer. And when we say simmer, we are meaning that we're turning down the flame as low as possible so it will gently cook through. Here we have a beautiful spinach and some beans. The cow foot is somewhat still intact, but it is tender. Alright. So we're gonna cover the pot. We're not gonna allow the weight to be on the pressure cooker cover so that the steam can be released. Now here we are, and we are at a high bubble. So we're gonna stir in and lower the flame again. Alright. We are gonna give that some more time to cook and remove that sprig of thyme. Alright, just scraping the side of the pot and making sure that we get in all of that flavor from the edges. And of course, everything is tender and almost ready. The spinners are well cooked. We're just waiting for the seasoning to have its time. Once we're finished, we're gonna allow it to sit before sharing. We want those flavors to get to know each other just before it is plated. Alright, so we turn off the flame and allow it to sit for a while. And here we have it, our braised cow foot and beans. We are going to enjoy this meal. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the journey. So stay tuned to our channel for more interesting dishes. Thank you for watching Jamaican Cooking 101.